partisanship and avoid partisanship and election process in Virginia. I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. As always, we open our meetings with a prayer. Mr. Cox.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Gracious Father, we thank you for allowing us to gather here today. We thank you for the opportunity of life. Just thank you for each blessing that you bless us with. I do pray for the ones that's in the line of the storms this evening, that you watch over and protect them. Thank you for all that you've given us and all that you've done for us. Be with us as we conduct county business. Give us wisdom as we make decisions. We thank you for all that we have. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Can I pick on you again?
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Kim, you want to do our quorum?
Yes, sir. All right, welcome everybody. Go ahead and take our quorum. Ms. Cookbook,
Present.
Mr. Cox,
Here.
Mr. Phillips,
Here.
Mr. Booth,
Here.
and Mr. Turman.
Here. And then we'll move on to approval of the agenda. Is there any additions or takeaways? Yeah, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second?
All right. On the motion to approve the agenda as presented, Mr. Booth,
Yes.
Ms. Cookbook,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Mr. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Turman.
Yes. Next is the approval of the disbursements. Anybody have any questions or comments?
If I may, sir, there is on the, one of the registers, it showed up and later we found it was a combined, two separate invoices that needed to be separated because one of them had to do with a grant. But they were both going to New River Valley Commission, but we wanted to make the grant process and for auditing, appropriate. So the New River Regional Commission for 52460 on there, which was check 92264, has since been voided. Okay,
And reissued as two separate.
which is on there separately for you guys.
Gotcha. Do you mind going up to the next? I was unable to get to them today. And that's all of them?
That's it. So this will be
Right.
less the 52,460.
Right, got it.
Just to remove the other registers from the bond.
Okay.
I do have a question. The Bingham Arbitrage, what was that?
That is the company that you approved for me to utilize with regards to the taxes that were due because we didn't expend the
Oh,
money in a
okay,
timely
okay.
manner.
I remember now, I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep all that in
Yeah,
my
it
little
is.
head.
Mm-hmm. And thank God. Just let me put that out there.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody else?
Select motion, sir?
Yeah, so, did you have a question? Do you have a question?
I can't even get
Oh,
mine
okay.
up there to read it like it's supposed to be.
Uh,
Should have been correct.
I'll make a motion to approve this month's disbursements as presented.
Second.
Motion is second. Any other discussion? Call roll.
All right, on the motion to approve the disbursements, Ms. Cookbook,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Mr. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Booth,
Yes.
and Mr. Turman.
Yes. Next, we have the approval of the minutes from July the 14th. Everybody was here that day, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody have any questions or corrections or anything?
I didn't see any.
Me neither.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay,
Second?
motion is second. Call roll.
On the approval of the minutes from 7/14/2026, Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Ms. Cookenbook,
Yes.
Mr. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Booth,
Yes.
and Mr. Turner.
Yes.
Right. Thank you.
Next, we'll move up to our presentations. So,
Be gentle.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you
So
did it.
hi, I am Ann Geneva, I'm a senior manager at Brown Edwards, and we have been the external auditors for 2 years now, this is the second year. And so first, I wanna say thank you to County Board of Supervisors for the opportunity to present on the audit and for the opportunity to serve the county as the external auditor. I'd like to give special thanks to Kim and Tabitha and Darren, who are not here, for their cooperation and hard work in preparing for the audit. It's a lot of work. There are several components to the audit. We assist the county in preparing the financial statements, which is the bound item here. And it takes the county and the schools and the EDA's information and presents it, supposedly, in a readable, accessible format for users. You're gonna receive 3 documents, so you've got your financial report, you've got your management letter, and then you have the audit committee letter, and oh, you have a 4th, the sheriff report. Oh, the
3.
I retract that statement. Trying to use minutes language here.
Yeah, we've got 3.
Do you want me to print out the sheriff?
No, it's.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
So the main thing that we do is we issue an opinion on a financial report. So if you open your financial report and you go to page 1,
No, this
That's
was the
the old-
preliminary.
Hang on.
so on page 1, you can see the independent auditor's report. I am
I got
happy to report that we're gonna
It's
issue
tiny.
an unmodified opinion
Okay.
on the financial statements, which is the best a locality can receive. What it says is that the financial statements are correct in material respects. This indicates reasonable but not absolute assurance that the financial statements are materially correct. In here also is a summary of financial, state, and federal compliance. So if you go to the back and you go to page 74,
There we go, now you get.
you can see a summary of the audit results related to the financial statements, to the federal major program audit that we performed, also some state compliance. Many, not all of the findings also appear in the management letter, which is another document that you have with you, and we'll look at that in a moment. So what I wanted to do was start sort of at the beginning on Exhibit 1, which is on page 5. Exhibit 1 and Exhibit 2 show the assets and liabilities and revenue and expenses of the county's governmental activities and the component units, which is the schools and the EDA. Exhibit 1 and 2 are long-term, multi-year. So this is where you're at long-term buildings and construction in progress, your assets, your long-term debt, that's where they appear. Pension and OPEB, your bonds. And then Exhibit 2, you can see on the bottom of Exhibit 2, there's been a restatement of net position. That's because this year was the year that we were supposed to implement GASB 101, which was related to compensated absences. So in other words, the accrued leave, the sick leave, PTO, annual leave, whatever the county has, they had to implement this new standard. And so they had to kind of come at FY24 numbers a little bit differently and FY25 numbers, and when they did those calculations, they discovered that, for the school side anyway, that they needed to make an adjustment. That was very common.
Brutal.
Where the counties maybe got a pass on it, but schools got hit hard because they have very complex leave balances that
Right.
carry over many, many years, so that was very common. On exhibit 3, you're shifting over, exhibits 3 and 5, you're shifting over to 1 year. This is where your budget numbers are hitting. So your 1 year short term, your revenues, your expenditures for property taxes, your accounts receivable, that kind of annual stuff is in exhibit 3 and 5. So you can see on exhibit 3, for example, you have in general fund, you have about 11.8 million in cash and cash equivalents. And then you have 11.6 cash restricted. That restricted is probably bond proceeds. And then you have unearned grant revenue of about 340,000, and that's the remaining ARPA money. You've been spending that down, and this is 26 is gonna be the last moment of it. So that's what's left to spend on that. And then I wanna draw your attention to the bottom of exhibit 3. This is a piece that is always a particular interest to boards, which is the fund balance section.
Yep.
So fund balance breaks down into restricted, assigned, and unassigned. Restricted is when it's being required, there's guidelines about how you spend it and what you can spend it on, and that is determined by a third party. So bond proceeds, you can't spend it on bubble gum, right? You have to spend it on construction progress. So that's why it's restricted. The assigned is where the board, the county decides these are the dollars that we wanna earmark for certain things. Capital projects is a big one, looks like courthouse maintenance is one that's coming up for you all. And then unassigned, it's what's left. And so that's that number there, that unassigned is usually a particular interest. The GFOA,
10.9.
it recommends 2 months of expenditures to always be available in unassigned. That's your base, 2 months. So the county, when we do that calculation, it looks like you're about 5 months, so you're in good shape there. And that's in case something catastrophic happens, that's your sort of backstop.
And you said the recommendation is at least 2 months?
Okay. At least, yeah, minimum of 2 months,
We got 5.
exactly.
Nice.
So in addition to the financial report, we also issue the internal control letter. So that's this one here, comments on internal control. We do not express an opinion on this, but we do describe certain deficiencies and recommend ways to improve internal controls. This letter is part of the complete financial report. We issue a report on the town's compliance also, which I showed you before. But let's look at the management letter for a moment. So on the page 1, it talks about different degrees. It talks about there being a deficiency in control, a material weakness, a significant deficiency. These are kind of levels of severity. And then you can see as you get into page 3, it's gonna start listing out the comments that are applicable this year. So there's some that you've seen before, some that are new. So the current year comments are the ones that are new this year. So you've got some stuff about opioid and treasurer and EDA. And then page 4 are the ones that we recommended last year, and you'll see that some of them have been cleared. And some of them are still applicable. So that's a work in progress. It's divided into 5 sections so that you can see what applies to the county, what applies to the schools, what applies to the EDA, what applies to the sheriff. There was some comments related to the sheriff in there as well.
And
Yeah.
can you describe for some of our newer members on the board, control deficiency versus material weakness?
Yes, so a
Please.
control deficiency is, hey, you've got some control weaknesses going on with how you do things. So let me give you an example. In the treasurer's office, the deputy treasurer can post entries into the accounting system. They can collect cash, and they have access to check stock. So they can take money in, they can key things in, and they can also write a check out the door. That's not a great segregation of duties, but we understand that you have stacking issues. So that one is a biggie for us, and so that's a material weakness. That one is the sort of highest level, saying you've got major internal control issues. If you can resolve them by next year, that would be a recommendation to do so. So that's material weakness.
Okay.
Control deficiency is, we recommend that you work on this in the next couple of years. The middle section is significant deficiency, which says not quite material weakness, not quite control, you should work on it pretty soon.
So material weakness is our area that needs the most improvement.
Yes, absolutely.
I just wanted to make sure our newer members understood.
Yes, so those are the ones, if you were gonna make a list of priorities, those are the ones you would wanna hit first. And one of them, if you look on page 4, I wanna draw your attention to that if you don't mind. On page 4, there's the second one, accounting system reconciliation. It applies to the county, treasurer, schools, and EDA, and its material weakness. And basically what we're saying there is that you've got 4 different systems going on. You've got QuickBooks, you've got RDA, you've got Munis, and you've got Bright. That makes your transactions extremely complex to follow. It creates redundancies and inefficiencies and inconsistencies. And right now, the treasurer's behind on reconciliations with the bank statement. There's trouble getting the information into Munis and having to sort of track all this around. So that's one that if I could jump up and down and be like, please, this is one you wanna pay attention to, that's it.
Okay, so repeat that again.
Okay.
I wanna make sure we understand this.
4
completely.
different accounting systems going on at the county.
And does this happen elsewhere?
Not,
Okay,
and if
thank
it does, it's not good. It doesn't go well.
Okay, thank
So,
you.
what's happening at the county is you have this new Cadillac system, Tyler Technologies. We've got a lot of
Munis.
localities that are on this who've been on it a long time. Great resources in the area to help you with any kind of hurdles that you have.
That's our
That's
Munis?
what you, that's Munis, you spend money on putting that in place, right?
Right,
But
we
the
did.
EDA is on QuickBooks, okay, that's not uncommon for the EDA, a component unit, to be on something different. Schools are on RDA, okay, that's happens sometimes. They got their RDA, they like the way it's running, Darren really does a good job with RDA from what we can see. I think the biggest problem is the Bright that's happening between the treasurer's office and the county. So the treasurer's office is behind, some things are not getting coded right, and then it seems to me, correct me if I'm wrong, what happens over in Bright is it be manually entered in Munis. That's duplicated work in a county that doesn't have a lot of manpower and resources. And when this isn't going well at the treasurer, then this side in Munis gets jammed up and slowed down, and they don't reconcile with each other, right? So we come in, and we need certain information that really the treasurer can provide, but boy, that doesn't tie over here, right? So what my recommendation would be something's gotta give and not have 4 systems. My recommendation would be to move off of Bright and get the treasurer onto Munis. And Montgomery County, that's the way that works over there, and they're good with Tyler Technologies.
They've been a great support to us, Montgomery County.
So as our auditor, you just said the recommendation you would give us is for our treasurer to move off of Bright. In your,
Non-legally binding in the state of Virginia, yes, that
Yes.
is our recommendation. That would be my
recognizing that
recommendation.
she's recognizing that the treasurer is a constitutionally elected official.
It doesn't have anything to do
Gotcha.
with her personally.
Right,
This is about systems and redundancies, and the biggest redundancies between Munis and Bright, that's it. Doesn't have
Okay.
anything to do with who that person is.
Gotcha, I'm just saying she's an elected official though. That's all I'm saying. Okay, understood.
Alright, so that's the management letter.
Okay.
So these were really kind of the highlights that I wanted to go over with you this year. Do you have any questions about any of it?
Well, I'm concerned about the material weaknesses, obviously. The construction in progress between the county and school, can you speak to that?
Construction in progress between county and schools. This is a management letter comment. Can you tell me what page number you're on?
4,
Or
On the bottom.
at the bottom,
No longer applicable for schools, still applicable for the county.
right,
Okay, so construction in progress is these multi-year buildings and constructing things, right?
right,
So someone should be creating a series of spreadsheets, workbooks where you track all of the progress, what source of money is being spent, how much has been spent, how much has been paid out to the contractors, what's the ending balance, boom. Right, here was where we started in the beginning of the year, we built some stuff, we put some things into service and now we're using it, here's the ending balance. That's the kind of stuff that's not really being tracked strongly by the county.
so why isn't the schools submitting that to the counties?
So it's not applying to the school, this comment doesn't apply to the schools anymore because they don't have any projects going on.
Okay,
Which we manage.
right,
Now, this gets complicated because schools don't carry debt,
right,
right? So then by that rationale, then they don't have the assets cleanly on their books. It gets complicated, but that's kind of how it works.
Right.
And so the construction of something schools related, if you're using bond proceeds, is really kind of ends up falling on the county to track and watch the bond proceeds and pull the bond proceeds down and monitor those things.
under the new munis system though, you should be able to set something up to track
Yes, sir.
that, shouldn't you?
Mhm.
Okay. So that can be addressed.
Yeah, if
It
you
already
have
has,
the construction project module, not everybody does, but if you have that module, you can. But you can also do it on a spreadsheet, right? The county stuff
Yeah,
isn't that
right,
complex,
yeah,
you can just do it on a spreadsheet.
We have it on a spreadsheet.
But with the
Oh,
new.
it's easier to draw the information from Munis
right.
as a
And put it in.
monitoring system between invoices and checks,
Right.
save them spreadsheet, you know what I mean? So it's a lot more user friendly to be able to follow it.
Okay.
So, on page 5, I mean, we've got a few. You wanna talk about any of them as being one more than the other, or they just all need to be
Okay,
worked on?
is there, how about you point out when you want to?
I mean, they're all material weakness, so
Right.
what do you feel as our auditor is probably 1, 2, and 3? Or are
So
they
I-
all ones?
I know the capital assets with the past auditor, you know, this is something that has changed for the county. They just use different things, so that's all we knew how to present. I'm sorry?
Right,
Yeah,
so it's no longer applicable,
because now
right,
we've
applicable.
engaged in the recommendation from the auditors and using a different spreadsheet.
Great,
So that is, and it is no longer applicable. The snap drawdowns, that's been an ongoing issue, ongoing conversation we've had with the board
right,
to manage different things, interest bearing and getting guidance from the board, you know, at the time.
as well as the treasurer. Right,
No, not from snap drawdowns.
okay.
No.
Well, it just says the treasurer also agrees and will modify their process in line with
And the
this.
other part is that the SNAP, which is something that is new for fiscal year '26, not '25, was you were being updated with all the documents and everything and the monthly statements, but it wasn't represented well in the balance statement through Bright. It is now represented exactly. I send her monthly the statement and she updates it on
Got
the
it.
revenue balance sheet side.
Excellent, okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, thank you for the opportunity to present and visit with you all this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have to say thank you, if I may, you know, because Vincent back there, even in his newlywed status. And as always, Anne, who, you know, we began with, have continued to be consistent, being helpful, walked us through, speaking us through processes, and have really kind of, you know, sometimes, you know, I feel bad for them, cause it's, you know, to get there, it's challenging, but they have been professional, just conscientious, they've been available. There's not a time I have, hey, you have time for a call, I got a response within, you know, in 24 hours, and I had a meeting with, if they're able to, like 72. And it has been helpful for us as we progress through this process. They have been intricate foundation to it, so thank you.
So,
Some of the things will be taken care of once the treasurer's office and the commissioner of revenue are in this building. That will help, but they're still gonna be on different systems. Now, the one thing, you mentioned the signing of checks
The segregation of duties.
out of that office. It's my understanding that it has changed from one person signing to two being able to sign.
Yes, sir.
But once they move into this building, then we can have two signatures, one from their office and one from our office. Is that
That's the conversation that I had with the treasurer, is that once, you know, we're all under the same roof, it would be a lot more, you know, convenient, so they can,
well, that's just one of the things that
yes,
I'm
sir,
talking
yes.
about.
She said that, you know,
That
that would be
that'll
considered then.
change. No, you go ahead.
so again, your opinion is to be on a legacy system such as Bright directly affects the ability of our audit to be as clean as it possibly could be.
It is right now because the bugs need to be worked out. But you may still find it easier to be on the same system. Four is a lot, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I get where you're
Especially for a
going.
place your size.
Yes, I understand.
And Thomas Brothers presently.
Right, okay, that's five, so, sorry, but DSS always is on top.
So
Yes, yeah.
another thing I wanna just say out loud and to the public, you know, I know that these last 2 years have been very strenuous on your company as well as our staff. And that's a good way, nice way of putting it. I just want to compliment our staff and getting you the information you need, and for us to be sitting here on July the 28th and we have an audit in our hands. I can't tell you how good that makes me feel, knowing that I now have this now as I start a new fiscal year. And I just wanna compliment you and your staff as well as our staff for doing the work that was needed to get it done, so thank you.
Sure. You are not the only locality that went through software implementation. There are localities who also had major staff turnover, and this has been a challenge for a lot of places.
And I guess we can, by working through a lot of this stuff and getting a lot of this stuff taken care of, we can expect a 26 audit before we start our next budget period, maybe?
So we were we have to come up with a plan, and
Oh, yeah.
when they think they're gonna be ready and have good numbers, right? There's also, you know, the prior auditor, and we've been doing a lot of lifting in terms
Right.
of getting the capital assets, CIP roll forward that we were just talking about. But the goal is to start transitioning that work that should be on the county, onto the county, and the auditor doing what the auditor does, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about in time period. In other words, we should finish up the past year's audit and have it prior to us starting our next budget process.
So the typical
Possibly.
pattern to be on would be that your year end is June 30th, and then we do the audit in the fall, you submit to the APA by December 15th. That's the pattern that you should, in the cycle you should be.
That's what we,
So we
I think
would-
that's what get you.
So we're looking to get back onto that schedule
Yes.
now.
Yes.
And we should be able to, barring some craziness, but
It's yes, in theory you should. In practice, based on what I'm seeing of other localities, it takes a couple of years and it's just tough until you get stuff sorted, until you get things reconciled with the stuff that's in Bright. It's gonna be some hard times.
I know, but I guess the point I'm getting at.
Yes, it'll be before the
We
next budget.
went through this budget year without this.
Right.
You know, we didn't have this, so a lot of it, we did a shot in the dark, and I don't know how well we'll do, we'll find out, but,
We'll do good.
Yeah,
I
we
think
do.
we will.
We'll do real well.
But at least for me, and I don't know about this, for me, to have the previous year's audit there
Yeah.
prior to us starting the budget process, it really helps me then when we get into the budget process.
Absolutely.
So, you know,
It's the goal.
So my next question is, not having, still being reconciling 2024. That is difficult in any stretch of the imagination, in your professional opinion, correct? When we're now in fiscal year 27 and we're still trying to reconcile
Yeah, so.
24 at
I'm
the
not
treasurer's office.
Right, so one of the key controls, one of the key procedures is to do a bank reconciliation. Here's what the bank says, here's what our general ledger says, here's our outstanding checks, right? It's just like how you would balance your checkbook, right?
And what would your recommendation be, once a month? I mean, should this be done?
By the 15th of the next month.
Yeah.
And it would be prepared by one person and reviewed by another,
Correct,
so that there's a segregation of duties.
correct. So being back now 2 full years can be very difficult to even know where we stand.
If you haven't reconciled your bank, it's tough to say with accuracy, like cash, right? I mean, there's the bank, what the bank says, but then there's what the GL says.
Correct.
But so it's behind November of 24, so that's FY 25,
So that's FY 25.
half of FY 25.
Okay, so it's 25, excuse me.
Fiscal year.
Fiscal year 25, but it's still 2024,
Calendar year, yes.
calendar year 2024.
part of it.
And as an auditor, that does not make you feel comfortable, correct?
No, it's in the, it's in the
I
management
understand that,
letters
I'm just-
and material weapons. Yeah. So there's a couple of reasons why we say 15th of the next month, right?
Right,
There's a timeliness component to it, there's a usefulness of information. From an auditor, for auditors, it's also a fraud prevention, right?
Right.
It's important to have one person preparing it and looking at it, right? So if you're not doing a bank reconciliation, then who's looking at it, is the question.
correct. Thank you.
Well, and it helps us to know our position reasonably firm when we're making decisions we have to make.
Correct.
She's come a long way from where we started.
Oh, yeah. We're getting there, we'll get there. Y'all be patient with us, we'll get there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sure, thank you.
Should have let Vincent present.
And as we,
like the bow
tie.
tie.
As we have more time to review this and whatever, we have questions, we can get them to you and you can
Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks, guys.
Careful.
Good evening.
Just went to good and gets back in here.
Oh,
We lost one.
oh.
We lost
Yeah.
one.
We haven't announced you yet, Paul.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, I'm jumping the gun here.
Could you control?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they may have stuck somebody, you get up there, Mr. Whitaker. I'll get up.
She went to get some water.
That's all right.
Need
I
more
wasn't
water.
paying attention that you had left the room. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Board of Supervisors, county administrative staff, and fellow citizens. Good evening, my name is Paul Kitchen, and I am the chairman of the Floyd County Electoral Board. And I'm here to give you a bit of an update as to what's going on election-wise. We have the primary coming up next week, Tuesday, August the 4th. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of you for your assistance and cooperation to help us run the elections here in Floyd County. And I want to make a special note of the school board and Dr. Comer for allowing us to use the schools for our polling places. That really is a great help to us. And they've gone to great lengths to help close the schools when necessary so that we can run nice elections. So far for this primary, as of today, the voter turnout has been really low. We've got 463 votes cast as of today between early in-person and mail-in. We processed 200 mail-in ballots today. There's still over 200 out there. And then the balance, the other 260 are walk-in at the polling place in the corner, so we're low. Everything's running smoothly. We haven't had any glitches or problems. And our old equipment is hanging in there, just barely, but it's hanging in there. And we're still waiting to hear from the state on the equipment that you have approved us to purchase. And we've got everything ready. On Monday, we'll be distributing all the equipment to the polling places, so everybody will be able to vote on Tuesday. And we've got all of our officers in place. The main reason for coming tonight was to talk to you about election integrity. There's been a lot of questions recently about, are our elections safe? Are they secure? Are they fair? And are they accurate? And I want you to know that here in Virginia, we have one of the most robust election administration management procedures and systems in the entire country. And one of the main reasons for that is that we have every bit of evidence, including the paper ballots which people fill out. And we take such great care to make sure that they are protected and secure, and if necessary, available to us to do the necessary backup audits. So let's just talk about how we do what we do. First of all, it begins with people. The people that help us to run these elections, the folk that you see out in the polling places, they're our friends, they're our neighbors, and they are committed to making sure that everything is done correctly and that we have secure and accurate elections. They take an oath of office. They are trained in detail about all the procedures and the policies, and then we, the electoral board and the Office of Elections, are there to back them up to make sure that everything runs smoothly and we know that every legal vote is counted for and providing an accurate outcome. Transparency. This is the most important aspect of our work. We invite the political parties to come and observe everything that we do. That includes our electoral board meetings, which we have monthly. They're open to the public, and we encourage the public, please come and see how we run business. Pre-election equipment testing. Before every election, every piece of equipment is thoroughly tested and examined to ensure it's accurate, including having a test deck of test ballots, which we run through every machine, and we know what the outcome should be. And we make sure that each machine reports back
that exact accurate outcome. And then when we're finished with all the testing, the machines are locked and sealed. They're put in secure cages that are locked and sealed, and then they're put into a secure room which has limited access, including cameras to keep an eye on it. So, we have our pre-election equipment testing. Election day observers. At the polling places, the parties are allowed to bring in up to 2 members to sit behind the poll pads and watch what's going on. Plus, the candidates can have representatives to observe as well. We really encourage that, because to see the systems and how they work and the procedures that we follow generates a team of advocates, because they understand what's going on. And we overcome some of the adversarial comments about how elections are run when people actually come firsthand. And we invite people, if you want to learn, we would happily sign you up as an officer of election and have you come and participate and learn. We're always looking for help for running our elections. Post-election canvass and provisional ballot meetings. The day after the election, we, the electoral board, are charged with a ministerial duty to look at every piece of paper that is processed. We don't look at the ballots because they're sealed up and they're already in the county clerk's vault, untouchable. But we go through the statement of results to make sure they're accurate, properly signed by all of the officers that were present. We go through the ballot reconciliation report because we have to account for every ballot. If we send 500 ballots out to a polling place, we sure as shoot want to make sure we get 500 back. Might be 250 voted and 250 still unused, but we account for every one. Even the spoiled ballots or the voided ones, that's all reconciled down to the exact ballot. And by coming and observing at the canvass and the provisional ballot meetings, people get to see the efforts that we go through to make sure everything is done correctly. And then when we're done, it goes up to the state. That's the 3rd level of auditing. The officers take care of it on election night. We take care of it the next day at the electoral board, and then we send the results upstream to the state, and they check us. So there's a lot of checking going on. Also, after the election, the state often calls for what's called a risk limiting audit. Now, a risk limiting audit is where we actually, by court order and direction from elect, go into the county clerk's office. We collect a designated box of ballots, and we hand count the ballots to verify that the count in the box matches what's on the tapes. So we have a statistical representation of hand counted ballots that match up and prove that the tabulation from machines is correct. And again, people can come and observe that and watch what we do. And of course, everyone is allowed to use the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. If you have a question, you would like to get access to publicly available information, we're happy to provide it so that everyone can see what's going on. We do everything in our power with bipartisan participation, with a nonpartisan influence. So what I mean by that is that the officers of election are from both sides of the political spectrum. So we have a balance at each polling place. And it's by law that we have to have our chief and deputy chief from opposite parties, so that we always have those checks and balances at the polling places, so that everyone can be confident that there's no putting the thumb on the scale, so to speak. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about security. We go to great lengths to provide security for everything that we do. The Department of Elections provides us annually what's called a local election security standards. It's 164 points that we have to review and go over, and it's known as LESS. The LESS is set of security, cybersecurity standards, operational security requirements, all established by our state board of elections and implemented through the Department of Elections. Their purpose is to ensure that every county and every city protects the security and integrity of the Virginia voter registration system, which is known as VERIS, and the technologies that support election administration. And this includes access control with user permissions. It covers passwords and authentication requirements. It covers network and computer security, physical security of election offices and equipment, incident response and reporting, data backup and recovery, security awareness and staff training, device and software management, vendor and third-party security, and policies and documentation. We test these systems. We use KnowBe4. It's an organization which will attend to penetrate our systems by sending emails and things like that, so that our people have been trained to be aware to what to look for, so we can prevent hacking right before it even gets it to us, because we have been trained to do so. Under Code 24.2410, Code of Virginia, the State Board of Elections is required to update these standards annually in consultation with local government IT professionals and our general registrars. Physical security, equipment is locked in cages, cages are locked in a storeroom, everything has numbered seals to verify that nothing is tampered with. Limited access, chain of custody records, and security cameras are all implemented to protect our equipment and all of the materials that we use. So, I talked a little bit about pre-election testing. It's called logic and accuracy testing. It's done before every election for every machine. And we make sure that it's done correctly, and we encourage people to come and watch. Post-election audits, including the canvas, again, we want observers in there. We also take the time to make sure that everyone who has the legal right to vote gets to vote, even if there's a glitch on election day or during early voting. It's a procedure called, on election day, someone who's not registered but has a legal right to vote, we follow a procedure called same-day registration. Those are provisional ballots that we have to adjudicate after the fact. We vet them, make sure that that individual is legally allowed to vote, and if that is the case, we open the envelope and we scan and count that ballot. We also look at provisional ballots. There are occasions when something has gone wrong. A person might show up at a polling place and we have in the record that they've already voted through absentee voting. And they claim that they have not. Okay, let's have a closer look at it. We don't have to decide today in the polling place. We do a provisional ballot, it comes to us. Again, we vet it, we look through it very, very carefully, and we make a decision whether these votes are gonna count or not. So we always take the position. Our frame of mind is we wanna help everybody who has the legal right to vote to vote. We don't wanna stand in anybody's way. And that's why we have such a great team here in Floyd, and we have great resources here in Virginia. And I'm really proud to be part of the election process here in Virginia, because we can deliver safe, secure, fair, and accurate elections with integrity.
Right.
Absolutely. So that's what I came to say, and I would be happy to answer any questions you have of the electoral board.
Kristen?
When do you think you're gonna hear about the new equipment?
We actually just had Bob Heisner from Hart here
Right.
for lunch with Sarah, and we're still in a waiting mode for the state.
Right.
There is a slight hiccup because the election assistance commission lost their commissioner, but we think that 2.0, the standard that we're upgrading to, is solid. They don't have to make any policy decisions, but we do not have an exact date. We're hoping for the November midterms.
So we do not know that for a fact.
I do not know that for a fact.
Will our equipment manage to limp through the midterms, do you believe?
Yes, we have sent one piece of equipment back for repairs and updating.
Okay.
So we are sound. We have all the equipment we need for the polling places, plus we have 2 spare scanners so that we can deploy.
That's what I was gonna ask,
So
yeah.
we got it covered, so,
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
absolutely. Yep.
But you are holding out hope that maybe?
We wanna have them early enough to be able to do all the training and
Right.
deploy, absolutely.
Right.
And yeah, we're just as anxious as everybody to get this new
No, I know,
equipment.
I know. I mean, what do you feel your cutoff is if you don't get them by, and I'm, I mean, just for my own edification, if you don't get them by September 15th, is it too late?
I think by the end of September
Okay,
will be okay, because that'll give us all of October. We will have to do some extra training for our
Right.
officers, but they're just as excited to get it as we
Right,
are. We don't
right.
think there'll be any problem getting the training done. And we have, part of the contract is, our vendor, Hart,
Right,
they're required to assist us with the training
Right.
and help us develop our people, so we're pretty comfortable that we'll be
Okay.
able to handle that well.
alright, great.
So basically, if they're not in by the 1st of October, then you'll have to rely on what we have.
Right,
Yes,
and by sending things back.
and we'll keep an eye on it. If anything
Yeah.
pops up, we will deal with. We were hoping for sooner, but we have to rely on the state to give the final green light.
Okay,
Anything else? Again, thank you so much for your support and everything you do for the county.
Appreciate you.
thanks, Paul.
Yeah.
Appreciate your presentation very much.
Let's see, no constitutional officers, so. Then I guess I can open the public comment period. It is the intent that all persons attending the meeting of the Board of the Artists of Handicap and Conditions shall have an opportunity to participate. If any person present requires any special assistance, please let the board know in order that arrangements can be made. Speakers are limited to 4 minutes. Sharing or giving away of unused time is not permitted. The board does not respond to questions or comments made by the speaker during the public comment period.
We have one speaker signed up, and that is David Whitaker from the Courthouse District.
Thank you for introducing me. I won't have to introduce myself.
Well, you,
I just read in the Floyd Press that you had unanimously voted to put a referendum on the ballot for a 1% local sales tax. Unless I'm mistaken, I guess that's happened. I'm encouraged on one hand that you are turning it over to the voters to decide. But then I'm wondering why you felt the need for a 1% sales tax. Evidently you saw a need for it, or you wouldn't have voted to put it on the ballot in the first place. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm sick of more taxes. And I'm not in the mood for another tax. And I'll do anything in my power to convince people to vote no on that referendum. And thank you for your attention.
did the press article statewide? I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it either.
Nobody else saw, we'll declare the public comment period closed. Alright, we got any old business?
No.
Any new business?
Yes.
Plenty of it, huh?
So there's a resolution, establishing the method of computing and reflecting tax relief pursuant the Personal Property Tax Relief Act of 1998. If you look, we went ahead, we received this information from the treasurer and went ahead, as we do annually. This is completed and calculated the percentage of tax relief projected for the PPTRA funds for Floyd County for tax year 2026 is 22.47%.
It's a long way from the 70 it started, and
Yes, sir. I saw a few of those, even at my mouth dropped. So this needs to be completed annually.
Mr. Chairman, if appropriate, I'd make a motion to approve the resolution as presented and authorize appropriate signatures.
I'll second that.
I do want to state that the state is the one that put this county and other counties in such a bind over this issue.
Yes,
And it
sir.
really disturbs me that they're looking at doing away with personal property taxes altogether. And I can't imagine, this started out at a 70%. Well, it started out no more tax, but we saw how that went. Then it went to 70%, then they went away from the percentage and locked it into what the dollar amount was. And I can't imagine what in their
Infinite wisdom.
Well, I wasn't gonna be that, that's a good term right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I'll defer to that term. I can't imagine what they're planning on, because they're gonna have to come up with some way to replace it, or our property taxes are gonna shoot through the moon.
That's correct,
I'm talking about our land taxes.
correct,
And,
to make it up.
to make it up. And at least through personal property, that's something that most everybody pays on.
That's true, in
In
one form or another, yeah,
one form or another. Now, a lot of the real estate, that doesn't apply the same,
that's true.
so, anyway, I'll shut up.
Motion second, call roll.
All right, on the motion to approve the resolution establishing the method of computing and reflecting tax relief pursuant to the Personal Property Tax Relief Act of 1998, Mr. Booth?
Yes,
Ms. Cookenbook?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
And Mr. Turner?
Yes.
We are done.
Alrighty, I'll move to take a motion to go into closed session under 2.23711A6.
so moved.
Second.
Motion second, call roll.
All right, on the motion to go into closed under 2.23711A6, discussion or consideration on the investment of public funds where competition is involved, where if public initially, the financial interest of the government unit would be adversely affected. Mr. Booth?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Ms. Cookenbook?
Yes.
And Mr. Turman?
Yes.
Alright,
Alrighty. Take a motion to come out of closed session.
so moved.
Second.
Alright, on the motion to come out of closed session, Ms. Cookbook,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Mr. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Booth,
Yes.
Mr. Turman.
Yes. Take a motion certifying that we only discussed those things we need a closed session for.
So moved.
Alright, on the motion that we only went into closed session discussion that we based on when discussing going into closed session 4, that was easy. Mr. Booth,
Yes.
Mr. Phillips,
Yeah.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Ms. Cookbook,
Yes.
and Mr. Turman.
Yes. And there wasn't any action items that came out of the closed session.
No, sir.
So we can move right along to board time.
Just a reminder on the abandoned road stuff. And there was one more thing, believe it or not, when are we gonna get any, usually we get some kind of update on where we're at on comprehensive plan while it's being put together.
Okay.
Maybe sometime or other, it can save a lot of heartache if we just, we see something go, we get an update on where we're at
Right,
and
okay.
what they're looking at. And if it's something contrary to the majority of the board, it can save a lot of heartache down the road.
Yes, sir.
True.
Maybe sometime or other somebody can
Absolutely.
make some kind of presentation of where it's at, what they're looking at. Maybe what their, some kind of overview
Sure.
of what they've come to terms with
Yeah,
so far.
timeline of completion, that kind of stuff.
Because, with some of the things we've done with the land division ordinance, then our growth areas may not be
Fair,
designated the same,
true,
just different stuff like that. that
absolutely.
Rather than just get the whole document code in front of us at the,
Give you a nice overview, okay.
just an overview.
Yeah, we can definitely inquire.
Maybe if it's a night meeting where we don't have a whole lot, then if this board wants to discuss it or whatever.
Wonderful, yep, you got it.
If that's agreeable to the rest of the
Yeah.
board, I'd like to know where they're at on it myself.
Right.
We'll make that happen.
That's all I had, sir.
Yeah, I just want to address what we heard about earlier tonight at our public comment. I do want to make it clarify some things that we're not just looking to raise taxes and that the state authorized counties to do a referendum on the ballot for capital improvements for schools. So this ballot item, known as a referendum, will be a 1 cent, up to 1 cent sales tax, and that revenue will come out and go into a capital improvement line for schools. Just schools, nothing else. And I hope that the Floyd Times did put that in. I have not seen the article that our gentleman who was here, Mr. Whitaker, had quoted from, but that it is for school construction.
And it's not on food and medicine.
Correct, and it's not on, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and it's not on food and medicine, so this is an important way for us to generate some much needed funds to help with school capital improvements.
And depending on how much comes in, it could offset a tax increase for debt service.
That is correct.
Or on a capital improvement. There's a lot of things that can be done with it, I'm sorry.
No, by all
I just
means, jump in, that's
wanted to,
a
I
very
want everybody to
salient point.
understand that it, I'm not saying it will, but it could. Did we ever get Levi's question answered? Did you ever get your question answered?
yet.
as to how it applies within the towns? Sale,
no.
you know, the sales tax situation, whether it would apply in the town or just in the county?
No, we haven't, I haven't got that from Steve as of yet,
Okay.
but I will.
Anybody else?
I've got two things. I did go to the criminal justice board that I'm on earlier this week. Nothing major to report, just understaffed and under budgeted, I guess, like most things are. And then number two, the green boxes at Station 3,
Mhm.
loading them up with furniture and different things like that again. So I've been getting a few complaints, but are we able to do anything with the camera system that we've got in place there in terms of trying to? Okay.
Yeah, once you give us notification, we can send one of the two down there. And, you know, the challenging thing is they have to go there. And it's not a big deal at all. But, you know, just with notification, we can go there so we can capture it within a timely fashion.
Do we have any process in place with the sheriff's office to try to help? I mean, are they investigating it to try to review any of that?
So I can only tell you by history, when it's been reported, Jerry, you know, and we go back and look at the camera and we get those still shots of certain angles or a license plate, car make, maybe somewhat of a description. And we have contacted, you know, a couple of the deputies who came, got that information, and absolutely that individual went in front of the judge. Another time, you know, was just agreed upon, like my bad, kinda took it out, left, you know what I mean, didn't know, took it to the or got busted.
Is it possible, 'cause obviously the camera's not having too much of an effect on people dumping stuff off down there, but is it possible to put a little better signage up there?
Sure.
Like when you pull into the parking lot, could we put two signs on sign on 2 4x4s on each side? Just, I don't want like candid camera, like I want people to understand it because some of these folks is getting pretty irritated and they keep harping on me about it and
Just keep me,
say, hey, let's just take them away or.
if you keep me posted on anything like that, we'll make sure we get on it right away and push it forward and, you know, and hope that, you know, it gets into the right hands over there and I have no doubt people won't be in front of the judge,
Sounds good, thank you.
absolutely.
Now, I guess you've seen on social media where they're eating us up over at Christiansburg Pike, not Christiansburg Pike, but
Franklin Pike. Yeah, and there was nothing, we had to wait for the for the installers to come. Andrew was going there daily, the gate wasn't closing. It was a direct issue with the battery and the backup battery. They found the way to correct it, was here yesterday or Friday. I know that it is corrected though now, so, or it's supposedly fixed. But it's battery and doing the best we can.
did the rest of the board get that invitation to the 40th anniversary celebration of Virginia National Heritage Program in Buffalo Mountain?
I received it, I can forward it on.
Yeah, if you would.
Thank you.
Sure.
It's Virginia Department of Conservation and Recreation invites you to attend the 40th anniversary celebration of Virginia Natural Heritage Program at Buffalo Mountain National Reserve, and it's August the 7th at 10:30 a.m. So if Kim can
I sure
forward
will.
that to the rest of you.
Yeah.
I do have to go, but can't see that in my plans.
August the 7th. Okay,
I think it would be something nice if
yeah,
they
yeah, yeah,
interested to
absolutely.
I agree.
learn about.
They're offering hikes and all that fun stuff.
You can look at the rattle-headed copper moccasin.
Copper moccasin. What time is it
Anybody
at?
else? It's at 10:30.
10:30.
I'll bring
10:30
Lily
a.m.
out.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Any correspondence?
In your correspondence folders, there is an electronic copy, I think you have printed copies at your seats for the FY twenty-six expenditures as well as the FY twenty-six revenue. And then there's 2 financial reports from the school.
William?
So, Floyd Fest 26 Daydream just came off, what appears to be very successful, as far as emergency management, minimal eventful, nothing of severity or anything of that nature, so we're really grateful. Beyond a well-oiled machine, a lot of fun, it was nice having, representation. I can tell you, their team there was cordial, they were receptive, they were excited. Dustin and Danny, facilitate a everyday 9 a.m. meeting with all emergency management, so that was real. We attempted a 6 p.m. but soon realized that that wasn't necessary, so we made that trigger. We will be having our active internal after action plan on April 9th, I believe. August 9th, thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
August 9th, and that's only because mainly Dustin's out on vacation. And then we'll circle back around to the team at Floyd Fest and Blacksburg Medical and Weather and all that, Fire Marshal, and we'll have an external after action plan as well. So, we had our second Floyd Makers Market, big turnout, it was huge. We almost fulfilled, the first day they were like real spread out, but the first time, again, food vendors, music, more vendors than last time, and they almost filled, just side by side, Jacksonville Circle.
Wow.
So real happy about that, giving Floyd community another opportunity to present and sell their stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing. Animal control, this Saturday, it's turned over to the county. You're looking at Jenny and I, who will be animal control for the purposes of care of the animals that are currently in there. We will attempt to return phone calls, and then we've hired 3 what we think are like fantastic people, who will be there Monday. Next week, we'll probably put an announcement out, just so you know, probably be minimal, we'll probably kind of close coming to animal control, so we can organize and get the place ready to get rocking and rolling.
I would think a call over to the Humane Society if you haven't already thought about it.
Thank you, yes, I already have and left a message, yeah,
Very great.
absolutely.
I heard that somebody said that next year at Ford Fest, they're gonna have a Danny's School of Dance down there.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It'll be the new
News travels.
More people saw
And in your folder, I think, I don't have to explain it, but I just wanted to make note. You have the per housing, per person tax.
Yep,
So
that's
you can
great.
see departmentally by housing and population, what the tax, where their taxes are going or what it costs for there,
And
so.
that's based on our current year budget.
That's correct. It's been updated, yes, sir,
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
just wanted to
It's been
make sure.
updated to reflect the current year budget.
And will you be providing that to the Floyd Times? Had you thought
I
about
haven't
it?
thought about it, but I could possibly create,
I think
something that
that's
would
a-
be positive, yeah,
Yeah, as
sure,
a Well,
yeah,
sound good?
it'd be positive to get that information out there, I like that.
Absolutely. Public information officer.
That's all I have.
Anybody get mad if I take a motion to adjourn?
No.
Second. All right, on the motion to adjourn the meeting, Mr. Booth,
Yes.
Ms. Cook and Book,
Yes.
Mr. Phillips,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
and Mr. Terman.
Yes.